Yeah, it's the day after and I'm still very bored, so I thought I'd share some of that boredom with you. Anyway, no, there is a serious reason for this one. I watched another Groundhogs video last night, and it wasn't T.S. McPhee playing, it was some other bloke on guitar. I'm not sure if any of them are original members. It was the Groundhogs, it's just no T.S. McPhee. I know he had a stroke and he was having trouble singing, probably having trouble playing, I should imagine, if he had a stroke as well. And there was obviously not original members, as I say, because one of the dudes playing looked about 11, so I don't think he's been in the band since the late 60s. And anyway, the crux of it is the G of Split, that is probably there. It's probably that chord. When I learned it yesterday, I was humming the tune in my head, and you know, it's not as though I've been listening to it a lot in recent years. 35 years ago, I would have probably been able to discern that I was humming the wrong tune in my head. Well, the chord's the same, it's the same chord, it's just a different G. That G played on 13 as a sort of a power chord, but instead of a 2-note power chord, it's actually a 4-note, so that you end up at that E having, so you actually, but you're putting the little obviously the lead stuff's all pentatonics in A. I think it's in A. Never sure. Some solos you play in a different place, but definitely that bit's in A. If you can play it right. For the old Vomit Green Strat today. It's got a fantastic tremolo arm on it. Better than my white one. Well, actually, I swapped out the one on my white one, but this is actually an original one. I've tried all sorts of tremolo arms for alarm systems. This one just came with a decent trim on it. It's just luck. It's got a lovely feel to it. It's brilliant for. Stays in tune relatively well as well. And I haven't lubed it up or anything. It just seems to stay in tune relatively well. If you hammer it, it goes out a little bit. It's got these. It's a replica. It's a replica of a 50s Strat. So it's got a really fat neck, and it's got these old 50s. Well, actually, I used to have a 70s Strat that used to have these on it, but these old poking the hole tuners. Actually, I've got some tuners that I've had sitting around for a year. Some locking tuners, to be honest. I just haven't got round to doing it. I'm very lazy. Yeah, so I'm going to do this, and then I'm probably going to do the next bit of split, which is that bit. That one. So it's probably split part 2, I imagine. And yeah, I'll probably do that one. Need a bit of wah-wah for that one. I've actually got my wah-wah plugged into my board at the moment, but I can't get to it because it's behind me. He does use a few effects, funny enough. He uses some pretty heavy echo on some of his. As I said yesterday, I don't know much about his gear. I know very little about it, apart from the obvious. But I did see a video of him in the 90s playing through some old Boss pedals. But he does like quite a bit of echo, and I wouldn't be surprised even on if he's using some sort of octave thing. Especially on some of Split, on some of the solos, it does sound a bit Octavia-ish. And I did notice that he was using a Boss, a pedal that I used to have years ago in the 80s, a Boss Octavia, which I never liked, to be honest with you. It was a bit of a one-trick pony. But you could either go up an octave or down an octave. And I never had a lot of use for it back in the day. And other than that, I should imagine he's just using. I couldn't even see any fuzz. I thought I'd probably, with him being into his Hendrix phase, there'd probably be a fuzz face there, but then I couldn't see. I couldn't see it if it was on the ground. He's definitely using a wah, obviously. He's a big wah, big user of wah. Again, I don't know what sort of wah. I know Hendrix like the Vox wahs. But I used to use other ones as well. Right, so anyway, remember that. If you want to learn it, it's there. The rest of what I put on there yesterday was actually correct. It was just that. You can play it there. Although in fairness, I think I was playing it in B. From the way I play it there, it goes into the E, it goes from that G. So let me try it. It doesn't sound right there if I go to an E there. No, it's too deep. It definitely sounds better the next octave up. If only just for those little picky embellishments. Right, bye. Again, I can't work out how to turn the video off. No, I've got it. Goodbye, definitely. Au revoir.